Good morning. Chapter 4, Section 2, Congruent Triangles. Okay? Additional materials for you. The notes, the PowerPoint presentation, Chapter 4, Section 2, go over that. Also, on the notes I provided, Chapter 4 notes, pages 3 through 6 give other views of this lecture. Okay? Today, we're just going to talk about what goes into congruent figures. Okay, we know they have to be identical because that's what congruent means. Okay, the first thing we want to talk about is the third angle theorem. Kind of important. Okay, we will be using this from time to time. So let's think about what it says. If two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle. So I'm using numbers here, though we rarely get the numbers. Okay, so 95 and 95. Those are congruent. They're equal values. 55 and 55. Those are congruent. Okay? Then the third angles of the triangles must be congruent. Think about it. If every triangle the three angles have to add up to 180, and I already have 2 equal, 2 equal, the thirds have to be equal. Let's do it mathematically. 95 and 55 is 150. 180 minus 150 is 30. 95 plus 55. Wait, it's still 150. That means this has to be 30. It's always going to work that way. Okay? The next thing. This is the definition of congruent polygons. Okay? Two polygons, and we know triangles are polygons. Two polygons are congruent if and only if their corresponding parts are congruent. What does corresponding mean? Corresponding means to hold the same position in each figure. Okay? We will be dealing primarily with triangles. So that's what I'm going to deal with. Okay? If I have two triangles, I have 3 pair of corresponding angles. So if these are congruent triangles, and I'm finding out that A and D are congruent, angle B and angle E are congruent, angle C and angle F are congruent. Yes, we have to match them properly. Same is true with the sides. AB is congruent to DE. BC is congruent to EF. CA is congruent to FD. Yes, I'm putting the letters in the proper order. A to B, D to E. A to B, D to E. Very important. We have to match properly. Okay? So the 3 pair of corresponding angles, 3 pair of corresponding sides. Now, you're going to see this term. It's called write a congruence statement. The congruence statement simply says, I'm going to match these vertices, angles, sides in their proper order. So, right here, the congruent statement for these two triangles would be triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. If you have this congruent statement, you don't need any of this. This tells you exactly what matches what. Once you say triangle ABC is congruent to DEF, that tells you A and D correspond, B and E correspond, C and F correspond. And you can figure out, oh, AB with DE, BC with EF. It works that way. You have to match properly. Now, some of you might be asking, well, what if I don't put it in that order? For example, if I said angle CAB, I would have to match it FDE, still maintaining the correct correspondence. Very important. Okay? So that's the note part of this. I've got 3 types of problems that you may see. The last I've got to show you, but it's probably not going to be in your work for this particular time. Okay? So let's head over here. Oh, I think we'll go a couple colors also. Go with that. Yeah, that'll work. Here we go. Okay, our first 2 problems are very similar to the ones you're going to see for your assignment. Okay? This says, show the following triangles are congruent by identifying the congruent parts, then write a congruent statement. Okay, just like we did, we're going to match the angles. Okay, so A with D, notice the ones, the markings are very important. On the chapter 4 notes you need to read, I make a big point about that. Okay, the ones go together, 2's go together, 3's go together, and so on. So I will say angle A is congruent to angle D. Angle B is congruent to angle R. And angle C is congruent to angle S. So there's the 3 pair of angles. The sides, I'm just going to maintain that order. Okay? AB congruent to DR. Okay? BC, RS. Okay? CA is congruent to SD. Okay? So there are the 6 parts. Now, to write a congruent statement. Okay? However you want to start with one. I recommend writing one of the triangles out and then just matching the other to it. It's much easier. Okay, so if I just go ABC, that is congruent to triangle, okay? DRS. And you've completed your work for that problem. Okay. Now, let's go over here. What else can we use congruency for? Well, we can use it to find values. Okay, in this, polygon ABCD is congruent to triangle PQRS. They're not necessarily going to be lined up perfectly. So what we've got to do is say, okay, A and P, B with Q, and so on. What we need to do here is find the value of X and the value of Y. The first thing I need to do is figure out which goes with which. Well, A goes with P. So yeah, they're going to put other degree measures in there to mess you up. Don't let them. A and P go together. So 2x plus 4 is equal to 100. Subtract the 4 from both sides. So there is the X. Okay, now we got to find the Y. The Y is DC. DC goes with RS. So now we know, oh, this has to equal this. So 3y minus 3 equals 12. Okay, solve for y. Okay? That's how you solve variables for these particular problems. Okay, now, the next problem, and this is the one I'm not going to give you yet, but I have to show you, and that's how to write a two-column proof. Okay? Yeah, I wrote it out in colors. I'm a sick guy. Okay, so here we go. What I want to do is to mark on my diagram what I've been given. Okay? So, in this first one, P and R. So I'm going to make those my 1 marks. PSQ and RSQ. I'm going to make those my 2 marks. Okay? I am told that PQ and RQ are equal to each other, and PS and RS are equal to each other. That's not enough information, okay? Anytime you see a proof for congruent triangles, they're going to give you just enough to get you started. You're going to have to always figure something out. In this case, okay, I know that SQ is equal to SQ. Anything is equal to itself. Remember the reflexive property. Okay? And the other thing I can figure out is that PQS and RQS are equal. Remember our new theorem, the third angle theorem. So, do we have enough information? 1, 2, 3 pairs of sides. 1, 2, 3 pairs of angles. We have enough. Let's write the proof. Okay. We have our statement, number 1. Okay? I'm going to start with my angles. Okay? There's 1, 2. Okay? That's given to us. We know that. Okay. Number 2. I'm going to stay with the angles just to keep it together. So that gives me this one. And we said the reason for that was the third angle theorem. Yes, I'm abbreviating. All right, next thing I'm going to do is deal with the sides. Okay, I'm going to put down the ones I listed. So, that was my 1, that was my 2. That was also a given statement for us. Okay, it was given. We can use given as a reason. Fourth, okay, was this one right here, the one we proved. Okay, irreflexive property. Okay. We set out to prove this. We did that. So, that is our final step here. Okay. And our reason there, we don't have a lot of theorems yet, is the definition of congruent polygons. Okay? Congratulations on your proof. Okay? That is it for this section. Okay? We're going to start getting into more proving of congruency, but for right now, this is what we've got. Okay? Take care. I will see you when I see you.